Hi, welcome to Tradition 12. Yay! Spiritual principle of Tradition 12 is sacrifice. Sacrifice. In the context of AA, it refers to the act of putting aside personal recognition and ego to prioritize the greater good of the group by remaining anonymous, essentially meaning the individual should not seek personal credit or attention for their actions within the fellowship, prioritizing the principles of the program over their own identities. This act allows individuals to focus on supporting and helping other members without seeking personal gain. It fosters humility and contributes to a sense of unity within the AA community. Anonymity is the spiritual foundation of all our traditions. Ever remind us to place principles before personalities. The spiritual substance of anonymity is sacrifice, because AA's 12 traditions repeatedly ask us to give up personal desires for the common good. We realize that the sacrificial spirit, well symbolized by anonymity, is the foundation of them all. It is AA's proved willingness to make these sacrifices that give people their high confidence in our future. But in the beginning, anonymity was not born of confidence. It was the child of our early fears. So confidence versus fear. Our first nameless group of alcoholics were secret societies. So then it switched from secrecy to anonymity. So AA used to be a secret society born out of fear, because back then, if they found out you were an alcoholic, you'd lose your job, your reputation, your home, your family, your standing in the community, everything. Nowadays, pretty much everybody is. New prospects could find us only through a few trusted friends. The bare hint of publicity, even for our work, shocked us. Though ex-drinkers, we still thought we had to hide from public distrust and contempt. What does contempt mean? A feeling of intense dislike or lack of respect for someone or something. It can also involve viewing someone negatively and feeling superior to them. Wow. When the Big Book appeared in 1939, we called it Alcoholics Anonymous. This foreword made this revealing statement. It is important that we remain anonymous because we are too few at present to handle the overwhelming number of personal appeals which may result from this publication. So they lied. They said, the reason we want to remain anonymous is because we can't handle all of the incoming calls and stuff. That wasn't true, because in the paragraph right before that, it said they wanted to remain anonymous because they were afraid. Okay, in 1939, we know why they were afraid. Being mostly business or professional folk, we could not well carry on our occupations in such an event. No, it is their job. Between these lines, it's easy to read our fear. The large numbers of incoming people might break our anonymity wide open. You know, we're not so anonymous that no one can find us. And we know there's no such thing as privacy anymore, because that was blown wide open. So now we know there's no privacy. It's a lot harder to stay anonymous. As the AA groups multiplied, so did anonymity problems. Enthusiastic over the spectacular recovery of a brother alcoholic, we'd sometimes discuss those personal and harrowing aspects of his case meant for his sponsor's ear alone. Okay, let's reread that sentence. Okay. Intensely full of joy over the beautiful and dramatic recovery of a brother alcoholic. We'd sometimes discuss those private and disturbing parts of his story that were not meant for anyone else except for his sponsor. Okay. So the resentful or aggrieved victim would then rightly declare that his trust had been broken. So now we know that if we're going to go tell other people's stuff, they're going to tell ours too. So maybe we shouldn't be talking about other people's private matters unless we want ours disclosed. That's the way that works. In Alcoholics Anonymous, that's the unspoken thing. We don't talk about someone else's private stuff, and they don't talk about ours. And if you go around talking about someone's private stuff, guess what? Yours is just going to start coming out. When such stories got into circulation outside of AA, the loss of confidence in our anonymity promise was severe. This is the anonymity part. It doesn't mean you don't say that you're an alcoholic. It means that you don't talk about stuff that isn't your place to talk about. It frequently turned people from us. Clearly, every AA member's name and story, too, had to be confidential if he wished, even if you don't wish. If you want to tell somebody else's business, go to them and ask them, hey, can I tell your story to someone else? And that person's going to say, I'd rather you not. That's my story for me to share, right? This was our first lesson in the practical application of anonymity. With characteristic intemperance, restraint, lack of restraint. However, some of our newcomers cared not at all for secrecy. They wanted to shout A from the housetops and did. Well, let's see. 1939, 49, 59, 69, 79, 89, 99, 2009, 2019. Almost 90 years. Alcoholics, barely dry, rushed about, bright-eyed, buttonholing anyone who would listen to their stories. What does buttonholing mean? Buttonholing, attract or detain a person in conversation, typically against their will. You're to hold them hostage, force them to listen. Others hurried to place themselves before microphones and cameras. Sometimes they got distressingly drunk and let their groups down with a bang. They had changed from AA members into AA show-offs. This phenomenon of contrast really set us thinking. What is a show-off? Rave or significant? Okay. This phenomenon, which is a significant fact of contrast, difference, really set us thinking. Squarely before us was the question, how anonymous should an AA member be? Our growth made it plain that we couldn't be a secret society, but it was equally plain that we couldn't be a vaudeville circuit either. What's a vaudeville circuit? Do I have that? I looked it up, but I guess I only wrote down a little bit. Oh, here. Vaudeville circuit were chains of theaters that presented vaudeville shows, a type of theatrical entertainment that included songs, dances, and comedy, declined in the 20s and 30s. So there's two ends of the spectrum. There's the secret society on one end, and then on the other end are overly dramatic show-offs. Okay? The charting of a safe path between these extremes took a long time. As a rule, the average newcomer wanted his family to know immediately what he was trying to do. So, newcomers know that telling their stories keeps them sober. So, it's not always showing off. Gratitude also has this effect. He also wanted to tell others who had tried to help him, his doctor, his minister, and close friends. As he gained confidence, he felt it right to explain his new way of life to his employer and business associates. What else is left? When opportunities to be helpful came along, he found he could talk easily about AA to almost anyone. These quiet disclosures helped him to lose his fear of the alcoholic stigma. Quiet disclosures made from humility, not prideful boasting. And spread the news of AA's existence in his community. Many a new man and woman came to AA because of such conversations. Though not in the strict letter of anonymity, such communications are well within its spirit. But it became apparent that the word of mouth method was too limited. Our work as such needed to be publicized. The AA groups would have to reach quickly as many despairing alcoholics as they could. Consequently, many groups began to hold meetings which were open to interested friends and the public so that the average citizen could see for himself just what AA was all about. So the closed meetings are anonymous, okay? And the open meetings are not. Okay? Open meetings are not anonymous. It is the intention of meetings and the purpose of meetings was to reach more people. It's the purpose of the 12 steps and the 12 traditions, practical application in our lives to keep us sober. AA meetings will not keep us sober only in themselves. We have to have some growth, and maybe you get that growth by going to meetings. You get some growth. But we have to keep growing. We can't stop growing. That's the deal. I was told there's no such thing as we're either growing forward, we're either going forward or we're going backward. The response to these meetings was warmly sympathetic. So the reaction the public had to the open meetings was kind and understanding. Soon groups began to receive requests for AA speakers to appear before civic organizations, church groups, and medical societies. Provided anonymity was maintained on these platforms and reporters present were cautioned against the use of names or pictures, the result was fine. So when someone wants an AA member to host some type of conference, talk, whatever, that they must stay anonymous at that level. I don't think people, and you can you can disagree with me if you want. That's fine. I don't care. But I've already said on this point, I don't think that um, people sharing their breaking their own anonymity, I think that's their choice. Okay, the reporters present were cautioned against the use of names or pictures. Okay. Then came our first few excursions into major publicity, which were breathtaking. An excursion is a short trip. Cleveland's Plain Dealer was a newspaper. Articles about us ran that town's membership from a few into hundreds overnight. The news stories of Mr. Rockefeller's Dinner for Alcoholics Anonymous helped double our total membership in a year's time. Jack Alexander's famous Saturday Evening Post piece made a national institution. Excuse me. The population was a lot smaller back then. I wonder how small it was. That'd be nice to know. Such tributes as these brought opportunities for still more recognition. A tribute is an act, statement, or gift that is intended to show gratitude, respect, or admiration. Wow. Other newspapers and magazines wanted AA stories. Film companies wanted to photograph us. Radio and finally television besieged us, crowded around oppressively with requests for appearances. What should we do? Back then, all this was new. As this tide offering top public approval swept in, we realized that it could do us incalculable good or great harm. So, as this powerful surge of public approval came in, they realized it could do limitless good or incredible harm. Everything would depend upon how it was channeled at that level. We simply couldn't afford to take the chance of letting self-appointed members present themselves as messiahs representing AA before the whole public. The promoter instinct in us might be our undoing. Promoter instinct is a personality type that is characterized by a number of traits, including risk-taking. Promoters are thrill seekers who are comfortable with the risk and believe that the greater the risk, the greater the reward. High energy, energetic, and have a work hard, play hard attitude. More intuitive than analytical, and rely on their feelings to navigate people and situations. Connecting with others, promoters are highly engaging and are at their best when they can connect with people. Outgoing are friendly and outgoing and are more focused on the big picture than details. If even one publicly got drunk or was lured into using AA's name for his own purposes, the damage might be irreparable. At this altitude level, press, radio, films, and television, anonymity 100%. Anonymity was the only possible answer. Here, principles would have to come before personalities without exception. Promotion instinct, ambitions. These experiences taught us that anonymity is real humility at work. It is an all-pervading spiritual quality, all-pervading, spreads completely throughout. An all-pervading spiritual quality which today keynotes AA life everywhere. Keynotes means defines. Moved by the spirit of anonymity, we try to give up our natural desires for personal distinction as AA members, both among fellow alcoholics and before the general public. What does personal distinction means? The quality of being unique and set apart from others. It can also refer to the act of creating a unique identity that helps you stand out from your peers. In psychology, recognizing personal distinction can help people appreciate their uniqueness and build self-esteem. It can also help people understand the diversity of human experience. In the workplace, it can help professionals stand out from their competitors. It can help them attract the attention of potential clients, employers, and partners. A strong personal brand can lead to more opportunities, higher credibility, and a loyal following. So I guess personal distinction, the way that I found it, isn't what they were talking about. It can be good. Can be good, right? I think that what they're talking about here is personal distinction, wanting to be special or unique or the most important or number one, you know what I mean? As we lay aside these very human aspirations, we believe that each of us takes part in the weaving of a protective mantle which covers our whole society and under which we may grow and work in unity. These very human aspirations. Human aspirations. I don't have, I guess I lost that. Sorry. And I lost protective mantle too. Protective mantle was good though. Protective mantle was a real spiritual thing. I'm so sorry about that. Covers the whole society under which we may grow and work in unity. We're sure that humility expressed by anonymity is the greatest safeguard that Alcoholics Anonymous can ever have. So that's what I got for that. I finished what I started. It wasn't easy. I'm very tired. But I did it. Yay! And so now you see where I came from, where I started from, and you got to see my character develop. You got to see the physical change in me, and you know, and you got a breakdown and some of my personal input. That's just about all I can do. I don't know what I'm gonna do next. If you want to know what I do next, hit subscribe and then you'll be notified. But this just might be it. Who knows? God bless you.